Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Another episode, the NFC Beast. I say this every week. I want to make sure I say it again. I want to make sure y'all let it soak into your souls and your football spirits and all that good stuff. We are the NFC Beast. We are the best division in the entirety of the NFL. Because you cannot tell me another division that has not one, but two NFL Super Bowl championships from every team. Some have more, but no other division has everybody that has at least two, that has multiple. So what's great about that is that's why we're the best. And until you can get like us, do not have the audacity. And the one thing I like to say that Stephen A. Smith says, the unmitigated gall to pretend that your division stacks up. It does not. I am joined today by Big Flo from Bottom Line Sports. What's going on, Flo?
What's up? On the road here. Going to see the family, my wife, my lovely wife, and my daughter.
There we go.
Yeah.
Dedication. That man on the road, still tuning in. And Scrub is in the building. Scrub Zero, what's up, my guy?
What's up? Had a good night of football last night, even though I probably lost fantasy because of it. It's all good.
Hey, I'm in a money league, and I did not get to pick my roster the way I wanted to. Like, you know how the computer picks for you? You set your people and the computer picks for you. So I got guys that I'm okay with, but it's not the guys that I wanted. But one of the guys I was able to pick was James Cook, running back for the Buffalo Bills. And even though Buffalo didn't do that well, James Cook, good look.
He was cooking.
Oh, it's Khalil Shakir about halfway through the third quarter. I have to apologize for some of the things I might have been thinking about you because you did your thing by the end of the game. So
I ain't gonna apologize. He was still sorry.
Hey,
One play don't make up for the fact you were sorry the whole time.
The fantasy football points that he gave me, my bad, Khalil Shakir, because I'm not a Buffalo fan. So the only thing I care about is what y'all do for my fantasy team. So good luck.
I'm a football fan. I don't like seeing bad football. He was sorry.
Hey, the stat line and the points that he got on fantasy say that he wasn't sorry. They don't say he was great. They say he was all right.
In fantasy, he wasn't sorry. But in the real game, yeah, he was sorry.
Yeah, the drop was very disappointing. Wide open drop. It happened multiple times.
And the fumble.
Yeah, I digress. NFC East football. All right. Let me get that schedule from last week up. The reason I want to make sure I get the schedule from last week up is because I want to make sure we go in proper order. We know who played. We want to make sure we twerk with the right order for things. So, Bills Texans was the Thursday night game. That's how I know I'm in the right week. Not in the wrong week. But it'll be the week before week 11. There we go. So what happens when you record shows or do shows live, and it is what it is. All right. In the international game last week, November 16th, the Washington Commanders went to Madrid, Spain, played the Miami Dolphins, and gave the game away. You guys' thoughts on Washington saying, here, Miami, you can have this game, we don't want it?
Yeah, I've said it all year. The roster was painfully average. They've had key injuries in certain spots. Defense, they've gotten a year older. None of these guys are what they used to be. There's only so much you're going to get. Marcus Mariota, he's a serviceable backup, but that's what he is, a backup. And if you got to rely on him to get you to the finish line, you will falter if it get past a certain point. If this ended in regulation, you might have been all right. It went to OT, threw the pick. Can't have that. I mean, it's not like Tuna Fish was much better. He took 3 sacks. And they had to rely on Chain again. this. Situations. One team just made more at the more key times than the other. 2 turnovers in a game like this can be heck. 1 turnover can be a difference. They had 2, Washington. They had 2, especially that pick in OT. Get the ball to start it off, and then you just hand it right over to the defense. That's not going to get it done. I know they were all right on 3rd down, 6 of 13. That's not too bad. Converted 1 of their 2 4th downs, but they're just not good enough. And this was always my fear, even last season. And now it's really showing. I think they're gonna have to make some moves in the offseason. And personally, I think they need a new offensive coordinator because I never thought highly of Cliff Kingsbury.
Hey.
I thought the shelf life was very short at best anyway.
What you got, Flo?
Yeah, not gonna belabor the point. Yeah, though, I guess this is one of the few games I thought that the Commanders could still win. So I thought this was. And then my other question would be, I mean, I like the offensive coordinator. But regardless, it's hard to do it without a quality starting with any offensive coordinator, quality starting quarterback. So my question would be, do they shut down Jaden Daniels for the rest of the year? I haven't heard. Maybe a couch coach knows, but I mean, what reason would you have to bring him in now? I mean, just get him hurt again. No reason. You're not going to make the playoffs. So there's no reason to put him in there. Put him in danger again of getting injured. Either injuring the same arm or injuring something else. So, but anyway, yeah, they gave it away. I think I've mentioned this before. The Commanders are the oldest team, and then they were one of the oldest. And surprisingly, I saw a stat the other day. They're like the top half of the NFL as far as they spend a lot of money on defense, but it hasn't panned out. But yeah, it's just a sad situation. This game is kind of like this upcoming game with the Raiders and the Browns. It's just teams just playing for pride. And of course, the Browns, have Shador, so there's a little more hype on that one because that's the first game started. So, but yeah, this was the Commanders' chance to put a W in the column, and they just kind of blew it.
Yeah, I have to say I do agree with Flo on. You probably should just shut Jaden Daniels down. You don't really have any positive outcome from him playing anymore this year. They may end up playing him, but you probably should just shut him down. We have him work out with the first unit offense and everything, kind of build that chemistry and everything. But you got a chance to help him work on his decision making in game by watching things and seeing things from the side. You might as well do it. Really nothing else to say about the game. Washington, you shot yourself in the foot. You missed the field goal. Come on. It is what it is.
Yeah, and they're banged up on the O-line. I know they were able to run the ball a bit, but there's too many injuries in too many key spots.
Yeah. So you put your franchise quarterback back there, and you end up like RG3. Just let him sit. Next game would be the Packers with a 27-20 win over the Giants. All I'll say about the Packers-Giants game was if Dart didn't not play at a critical moment, I feel like this might have been different. So I feel like the Giants actually played well against the Packers. Again, another team that is used to playing against Micah Parsons and were able to stay in the game. And if it wasn't for Russell Wilson, maybe they win. Once you see Russell Wilson come into a game, you better be up by multiple.
You thinking last week's game cool?
Oh, I'm thinking last week. This is the Jameis game. Okay, my bad. Thank you for the correction, sir. Yeah, you're right. So Jameis, hey, there's two things we know about Jameis Winston. He'll throw you 30 touchdowns. He might throw you 30 interceptions too. So he gonna let the ball fly. It is what it is. But they did hang in there 2027 with a Packers team that a lot of people thought were probably going to dominate them. And again, you know Michael Parsons. You see Michael Parsons every year, twice a year, up until this year. So the familiarity allows you to kind of know how to play him. But shout out to the Giants, sticking in games. People can say, oh, it doesn't matter, you either win or you don't. But when you've been bad, sticking in games, losing closer games, like showing that we got some grit, we may have some pieces. That's important, especially when you're without your star wide receiver, your star quarterback, and your star running back. Running back. So I give the Giants a little bit of props for even sticking in the game. Flo, what you got, man?
Yeah, kind of what you said, but you have Scatterboo and Neighbors here in this game, even with Jameson. I think they probably win this game. I called it a possible upset in this one. I was close.
Yeah, you did.
It might happen, but I thought the Packers have been kind of floundering a little bit. That great defense doesn't look so great. Micah's always been a guy that you can run at him. That's how you neutralize him. Just run right at him. He'll overrun the play, and that's what a lot of people do. And so he's a great pass rusher, but in the run game, he's not great. He might catch somebody from behind. He's got the speed, but that's the kind of the thing with Micah. You just run at him, and that's how you kind of neutralize his pass rush. And that's what he's become, just a kind of a pass rush specialist. And so Green Bay, there might be a little trouble. I don't think Jordan has been up and down. I never believed in Jordan. So yeah, Jordan Love, I just never thought something about him. Last year, I think I said this quite a bit. He missed 2 or 3 games, and he still led the league in interceptions. I just don't think I don't think he's got in the key moments. He just doesn't make the right decisions, and in a close game. And I think they're going to be in a lot of close games. They still got some division games, so too bad for the Giants. I thought they could have pulled this one out. I had a feeling they would play them well, and I thought maybe they could pull this out, but unfortunately they didn't. I still think the Giants have the better upside for the rest of the year. So, especially if Dark comes back. In his case, I think you should play him. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
You should play him. He needs that time, even if the team make the playoffs. So, but yeah, I think the Giants will end up being in at least the 3rd place, and I think the Commanders going to bring up the rear this year just because of the Jaden Daniels and some of those injuries they've had. It's just worse on them that they couldn't afford. They didn't have a lot of depth, so they couldn't afford to lose. Giants have quite a bit of depth. Really at receiver and running back, they're still solid.
Yeah.
Even though they lost their stars there, they're still solid at those positions. But yeah, that's all I got really. But tough loss for both teams.
Scrub, your thoughts, sir?
I'm gonna kind of go backwards on the points. From what I heard, receiver, we had to sign back Isaiah Hodgins from the Steelers practice squad. He came through. He made some plays. He was solid, but overall, this receiver core really ain't good. Yeah, Wando Robinson, who's a slot guy, Slayton, who I wouldn't have brought back because I know what he is. The receivers aren't good. Now, running back, on the other hand, yeah, we still got some backs. We finally got Devin Singletary sighting. They actually the Giants actually ran the ball quite a bit. 35 carries from the 2 backs, got 134 yards. 132. Still, it's not a lot of yards for the amount of carries, but that they stuck with it. Jameis had the 29 pass attempts. Obviously, the late interception isn't something you want to have. You got to do a better job of where he's throwing the ball. You also need your wide receiver to finish his route because Jalen Hyatt, he stopped and ball, and DB just went for the balls. Game over. And I'm done with Jalen Hyatt. He's not it. Dart, while I want him to get the experience, I didn't want him to play this year because I didn't think he was really ready. I thought he would have been better suited sitting. I thought all the guys that came in this year would have been better suited sitting for a year, seeing the game from the sideline, then start next year. Because I didn't think any of them really were ready. Even Shadur, like, he's getting his opportunity now, but I've been consistent with that point. I wouldn't have started any of these guys. Like, I get injuries happen. If you got to, you got to, but I was in no rush to get any of these guys out. But it is what it is at this point.
I'm just saying, man. When Russell Wilson was the guy playing in front of you, you're gonna get in pretty fast.
Well, that just showed the Giants didn't really have a plan for real once again, and that's kind of where I feel where they still are. Like Kafka's trying to get a head coaching job, so I know he's going to do what he can. Players still playing for their contracts and whatnot, so they're going to do what they can. But I'm not expecting much from this team because they're going to be competitive. But I've seen in the past few years they've had competitive games and then still end up losing. So this really, to me, it's not really progress. I just see the team stuck in quicksand.
Fair enough.
But, you know, shout out to the Pack. Oh, the other thing with this on the Packers end. I know Jordan Love got the money, and they're going to ride him. I think you need to sit down for a bit. That's not to say you can't ever be a starter again. I think you need to sit down for a bit.
What?
And they need to play Malik Willis. Because Malik Willis has done a better job in the time he's been in from the last few games we've seen of him than Jordan Love's been in this past year plus.
They ain't fit Jordan Love.
That's an interesting take.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of Packers games, and I got a lot of guys who are Packers fans that you let me know, and I see what they're talking about.
But the money wise, I think is
that's what it is. If it wasn't for the contract, this wouldn't even be much of a question. But you know, that's what it is.
Kind of what Daniel Jones did to y'all. He had that 1 year, made the playoff, got his money.
Yeah.
And then gave him the money. Like I said, I would have gave him 3 years, $60 million max. If he didn't want that, find it from a different team. Only because I knew that making him the guy was not going to get you where you need to get to.
Yeah.
Not saying that you can re-sign him and have him contribute, but he's not a franchise guy, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's a mid-level quarterback at best.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, he hasn't done anything to make you feel any otherwise about him. We'll move on to Sunday Night Football. Philadelphia Eagles and Detroit Lions. And I want to say this. I apologize, America. I apologize that you had to sit through a defensive struggle on Sunday Night Football. The Eagles scored as many points as the Raiders did against the Cowboys in this game. The Lions scored 9 points. If you can't beat a team that scores 9 points, you shouldn't consider yourself any type of anything other than a team that's fighting for a number one pick. If the Philadelphia Eagles want teams to, and fan bases to take them a little bit more serious, we got to put up more points offensively. The offense has to be better. You know, me and Flo were talking before the show. You know, we obviously play next week. We'll get to that, but 16 points against Dallas is not going to cut it. 16 points against a lot of teams are not going to cut it. It did cut it against the Lions, thankfully, because the defense is really good, but the offense has to put up more. Even if you add, like, say you add 2 more field goals, just 2 field goals, and you take this to 22. 22-9 feels a lot different. But poor play calling, not getting in the right situations to at least get to field goals and extend drives, and just an overall lack of awareness of what's going on offensively by the offensive coordinator and the head coach has been a problem. And, you know, I've had a lot of arguments where, you know, I'm like, nah, Eagles, blah, 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 blah. And then somebody says, well, you know what? The other team's got a better coach. And I'm like, because they're right. I don't argue the truth. That's right. They're right. So good win for Philly if you're a Philly fan. But again, if you are a football fan, I apologize for you having to sit through the quote unquote defensive struggle as they're trying to spin it from Sunday night. Eagles did win, but I mean, this is about as bad as you can feel as a fan after a win, in my opinion. Some people might disagree, but that's how I feel about the game. Flo, any thoughts on this game, sir?
Me? Yeah, so are we going to talk any of the storylines right now, or are we going to do them later?
Later.
Okay. Yeah, so, as far as the game, I feel like it could be the play calling, but at the same time, I don't know if it's just the play calling or if it's Jalen kind of doing his own thing. Because if you ain't wide open, he ain't throwing you that ball. And A.J. Brown, I think I read a stat the other day. He's got the lowest or one of the lowest out of like 50 wide receivers separation rate. So you're gonna have to throw up a 50-50 ball with A.J. That's how he's been running his route. You know, he's not gonna get a lot of separation, even though he can win a lot of those 50-50 balls. Jalen's not gonna throw that ball to you. He's not gonna really force it because he's, you know, I'll say this about Jalen. He's gotten to where he doesn't like turnovers, and he likes to stay away from that. So he's not gonna put the ball in harm's way. So that kind of leads to a stagnant offense. And sometimes, you know, in the NFL, you don't get a lot of separation, really. I think sometimes you got to throw somebody open. I mean, from time to time. And so I feel like he's a little too cautious now, and that's part of it. Maybe the play calling as well. But, yeah, you know, Philadelphia's getting carried in the trenches right now because Jalen doesn't get, you know, he gets protected pretty well, and he doesn't have to really worry about getting strip sack and stuff like that. And then on the other side, the defensive line get pressure on the quarterback. You get pressure with the front four, man. That helps your whole defense. You don't got to put extra players on the line. So the trenches are really carrying the Eagles this year for the most part, and that's kind of what you saw here. I don't know. I thought the Lions would put up a better fight, but you get Jared Goff tap dancing back there, and he started seeing ghosts too. I think we talked about that before, but yeah, he'll start seeing ghosts when you get him tap dancing back there. So, but yeah, shout out to the guys in the trenches for Philly.
Can't argue with any of that. What you got, Scrub?
This game was an ugly game. Like both defenses did play well. I will say that. I can't take it away from the defenses, but both sides on offense, I thought both coordinators didn't really do a good job of helping out their offense as much. I know the Eagles did have the volume of runs, but I don't like how they went about some of their plays, particularly trying to force feed A.J. Brown early. I know he had 11 targets, he got 7 receptions, but that wasn't one of them games that you really try to pass the ball. Mostly because of how the conditions were. Like, anyone who watched the game knows it was a very windy night in that dang on stadium. Which is why I was wondering why the Lions were passing so dang on much. Because you saw them pass up on a bunch of kicks. They went for 5 fourth downs. I got the first one. I understood the first one, though I didn't like that play call, but I understood why they went for it. I would have went for it too, at least. But I thought they could have came up with something better. After that, they should have went for field goals or punt. And they kept trying to get it. You end up turning them over on downs 5 times, plus an interception early. So you had 6 turnovers versus the Eagles 1 turnover with the 1 missed 4th down. Like, possessions are too valuable in this kind of game. Play the field position battle. Like, play complementary football. I thought the Eagles at least did a better job of complementary football than the Lions did. Because
true.
that's not saying much, but in a game like this, any little bit you can do to help yourself
enough,
out.
right? Definitely enough.
And Jalen Hurts, I think he is being a little too conservative, but I think he's being mindful that we ain't really got an offense and our defense is already carrying us. Let me not turn the ball over and put them into more stress than what they are. We've been through the song and dance. Eagles got to find a way to get this offense going, or it's going to be a first round exit. That's just what's going to be. The Lions, I don't even know what to say with Dan Campbell. You can't be going for it. I understand you like going for it, but help your team out. That wasn't the.
I mean, that lost him the playoff game against the Niners.
Good look, Dan.
Yeah.
Good look, Dan.
No.
I appreciate you, Dan. They trying to talk shade on you, Dan. Good job, Dan. I think
you know that was no. As an Eagles fan, that was a good job. As a football fan, that was horrible, and you know it was.
You go for it, Dad. You go for that.
No,
yeah,
I know we talk about the.
I want to get on Jared Goff. Show us, Dan. Show us, Dan.
Jared Goff is not that kind of quarterback. There's a reason he was. There's a few reasons why he out in LA, but one of them is he not going to get you to where you need to get to.
Yeah, I mean you got to be more strategic. I feel like in those fourth down, you got to go for a few, but you can't go for it every time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You got to be more strategic.
No,
especially these are not working.
But the other thing, it's a very windy night. Why are you passing the ball so much? You got Goff dropping back 39 times.
Well, Dan Campbell took over play calling duties on offense, so
yeah, and he ain't help his damn quarterback out.
And that
because
I felt better about the game.
No, because let's be honest.
Well, the last game he did pretty good.
No, he did it pretty good, but
no Dan Campbell.
There's a difference between playing. What did they last week? They was at home. Was they at home last week? Oh no, that was in Washington. But there's a difference between playing in Washington for a 4:00 game, with the weather conditions not so awful, and then playing the night game. Because you got to go to Philly again. He ain't gonna do no better. Lions in trouble, dog. Jared Goff ain't that guy. If
I've been saying that for a couple of years.
We all been saying it, but like, dog, you got Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Why ain't you utilizing them? Then we got 18 carries between the two of them. What's I supposed to do with that?
Yeah, Sonic
and Knuckles. Well, I saw no Sonic and there was no Knuckles punch.
Well, I saw Sonic and Knuckles get all the rings beat out of him.
Yeah. Well, listen, I will say this: getting Jalen Phillips, he did a good job again. The corners for I know they ain't great, obviously, but
now Vic's solid. Defensively, I love Vic.
Yeah.
Offensively,
yeah, that's kind of where we at. Yeah. We'll get more to it later. So let's continue onward.
All right, Monday Night Football, November 17th. Dallas Cowboys 33-16 victory over the Raiders. I'm not going to go into none of the other nonsense that everybody been doing. I'm just say this. The Raiders were a team that Dallas should beat, and Dallas handled their business. That's simply what it is. Scrub, any thoughts on the Raiders Cowboys game?
Yeah, easiest spread to take. Dak Prescott balled out, 4 more TDs, 25-33. You know, did his job. He got the 93 yards from Javonte Williams on the ground. Pickens and even CD did his thing. Although I gotta say thank you, CD Lamb, for not catching that last pass Dak threw, because you not catching that pass won me fantasy. So thank you for being a sorry receiver, dog. I appreciate it.
Hey, he did enough with the ones he caught to win me my league, so good luck, CD.
Hey, he won you your league, he won me my league, so we all good there.
Yeah, everybody happy with CD. Everybody happy.
Listen, we knew what was going into it.
Yeah, we did.
How it was going to be. Raiders, they got a lot of things to fix, and I don't like how the defense looks. You talk about offense coordinators. As unfavorable as I look at old boy in Washington, I look even less favorably right now at Chip Kelly in with the Raiders.
Yeah, that's fair. It is
because yes, do Geno got to play better? Yes, he does. But the number of interceptions that he's had to this point in the season, you can't tell me that Geno done forgot how to play the game of football altogether. And they need to help Max Crosby out. Yeah, you can go ahead, Flo.
I like how y'all poo-poo my win here.
No, y'all did y'all thing. I just got to call out what I see.
No, but here's what
I didn't poo-poo you win at all.
No, you kind of did, but it's okay. It was underhanded.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
You don't know. I'll poo-poo it real quick. The Raiders ain't nobody, and you just beat nobody. How about that? Is that good enough for you?
No. So here's what's important, and you might take it a different way, but I'm being dead serious when I say this. It's important in the NFL to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. That does not happen every week. There's a lot of upsets that we have. So when you're able to go out there and beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, that's important. And we talked last week about what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys in the organization. So for everybody to band together and say, we're going to go out here and we're going to play the game and do what we're supposed to do. I think that's what needed to happen. So I wasn't being underhanded at all. I was literally saying you handling business when you're supposed to, and that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Exactly.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, because to be fair, you could go either way. When something like that happens, it can bring you together, or it can kind of tear you apart. So at least it feels like you brought everybody together to a certain degree. And so, and I feel better about the defense because I mean we made everybody look like Peyton Manning. You know, Jacoby Brissett out there throwing all kinds of. The defense played a lot better. They're not the 85 Bears or anything, but they played a lot better. Quentin Williams looked good. He had a lot of pressures along with the sack and a half. Overshown looks better. He's going to get better as he's able to get back to kind of football shape. And Ravel was out there too. He's a big, tall, lanky cornerback, and he's just a rookie, but he's got a lot of potential. And so I see potential in the defense. Now, can they turn it around enough, to beat some of these better teams that are about to play? That remains to be seen. And so it gives me a little bit of hope that maybe we can make a little push here. For sure, that the offense, as long as we can, we don't fall behind early, we can do Dak's best when he's got his run game going, do a little play action. I mean, Pickens, if you had Pickens for fantasy, you probably won your game. He was going off, and I think it's a good 1-2 punch. I think it's great because I think those guys get along. Sometimes the receivers, you're friendly and stuff, but I think those guys are really kind of, pretty close. They got it pretty close over this year, so I think that's good because there's no animosity when one guy gets the shine over the other guy. You're kind of rooting for each other when you guys are really friends, And so I like that aspect of it. And so I think there's a lot of hope for me. I think we can't lose more than one game, and we definitely can't lose next week. So I think if we can lose just one game on down the stretch, preferably a non-divisional game, I think we can make it possibly get in the playoffs and at least salvage this season from what it looked like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I want to say real quick. I could wait, but I'm just going to say it now. I want to give a shout out to George Pickens. So I had him crashing out by week 5, and that clearly did not happen. So I'll give props, for that. I think we've been saying all season Dallas's problem was never offense; it was the defense. You did some things to try to fix that. You also I forgot his name, but you brought in the linebacker that's been playing well for y'all too. That you traded for.
Overshown.
Was that the guy that you got to trade?
No, you talk about him, Logan Wilson.
Oh, Logan.
Wilson. Yeah, he's been playing pretty good, for y'all as well. My the thing with Dallas is whether you can make the playoffs or not. I think you've shown that some of those pieces that you added is going to make the defense at least better, right? It's not going to be everybody's not going to be sitting back there looking like an all-pro quarterback against you. Guys can be covered a little bit better. It's going to be a more difficult matchup.
Well, I think
And
it
that's
complements our offense, especially.
yeah,
Because our offense, like you said, wasn't the problem. And so,
yeah, because you're clicking enough. Yeah, you're clicking at the point to where, as long as the
Right.
defense can hold up, make a couple of stops for you, it's going to help you win a lot of games. So you guys have definitely been able to do that. So go ahead and slide in here. We got a couple of topics here that are going to be I think a little fun for us to dig into real quick. So the first one is going to be Hard Knocks in season. It's going to be the NFC East. Flo, your thoughts on Hard Knocks in season being the NFC East? And I just want to let everybody know this was a Flo topic. So I'd love to get his thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if y'all saw last year's. I think it was AFC North.
Yes.
And so I kind of liked it. I thought it was an interesting take, getting it kind of midway through the season. So I think with everything that's been going on with the NFC East, I think it could be some interesting stuff that comes up in those because, you're going back probably 5 weeks, when it comes up on December 1st. So you're kind of playing stuff that's already happened that you've already you get a little more detailed, in-depth look at what was going on behind the scenes a little bit. So I like it. I think it's good for us, the NFC East. But at the same time, at least it's a highlight for especially the Giants and the Commanders, highlights us because, they've had kind of a rough season. So maybe it'll kind of soften that a little bit, being how people can see maybe how bad you guys have had it, how rough it's been for you guys during the season. And I think it's a plus overall, and I look forward to seeing it.
I ain't gonna lie, I forgot about the in-season Hard Knocks. I just know that Hard Knocks is kind of a bad word around the Giants fandom.
My God.
Yeah, that's fair.
Although maybe they get put on expose again, and we get the GM out the building at the end of the season.
Oh, maybe.
So this could work out.
That's what I'm saying. It could be good for everybody.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be interesting because NFC East football, there's always some kind of chaos going on with all these teams in some manner, shape, or form. I ain't gonna lie, because it wasn't on my mind. I wasn't thinking much about it. All I'm gonna say is I'm looking forward to seeing if we get anything of real interest. I know it's going to be more on the football side, so maybe we hear about a player who might have been playing with injury or something. Maybe a guy ends up getting an opportunity. Who knows? To get some backstory on it. We'll see how it is.
I think it's good from the standpoint of just highlighting all the things that have been going on and getting the proper information out. Whether what's been said is right or wrong, Hard Knocks will be a great way to get all the proper information out on what's happening, what was going on behind the scenes with, different things with all the teams, what happened with Brian Daboll. They'll probably touch on that as well. So, all the things that the top we'll talk about next, AJ Brown. So there's a lot going on. And I think being able to have Hard Knocks do the division is going to be good because every team has juicy things happening. So you'll be able to kind of get behind the scenes and get some more details on what's really going on. Because we're hearing stuff. We know from the Eagles side, you hear stuff and it's not always accurate. But some of it is, some of it's not. So I think it'll break through that. For the Commanders, the injuries and the grandpa medic unit they need for all their old guys and all that. We better talk about that. Cowboys, of course, the moves made and everything, and hopefully they'll do something for Nealon, some kind of dedication on the show for him as well. And then, for the Eagles, all the supposed issues, some of them are real. Anytime you hear multiple things, some's real, some are not. So, we'll find out more about all that. But speaking of Philadelphia Eagles, more drama, AJ Brown.
Drama for your mama.
And what's funny is this time it's not actually him for the most part. Now, he did say in one of the interviews, he was like, because they were saying, oh, what they were basically paraphrasing here, but they were basically saying, like, hey, what's going on? You don't have the same production that you did last year. You're not the same receiver. And he was basically like, so Saquon's not the same running back because he doesn't have the same numbers, like in a laughing way, like mockingly, and they try to make it seem like it was, him taking a shot at Saquon. I don't think it was. It could have been subtly, but it didn't feel like it was. But then, like, Deshaun Jackson saying, oh, there's some issues. And then the one that got me was Jason Kelsey. Because you're retired. Why did you need to come on and say, oh, I had some problems with Lane Johnson, and there's sometimes, there's beef, and I feel like you didn't need to say any of that, Jason. Go off and enjoy what you're doing on that side. You didn't need to say anything. But it all comes back to AJ, because AJ is the lightning rod. I've been kind of thinking about this from some different angles, and one of the things is maybe AJ is the lightning rod because he understands he can handle it. This guy's a journalism major, so he understands kind of how this media plays things out. So maybe he's okay with being the guy that everybody's focusing on, the guy that, you're kind of making, quote unquote, the bad guy. And that allows some of the heat to not be on other guys. So perhaps that's it. Perhaps he's just being honest, and, people are not liking what he's saying or the way he's going, quote unquote, going about things. But he's being asked these questions, right? Except for what he said when he was on his buddy's stream. These are things that he's being asked by media members. And he's responding, and then they're making a big deal. I was like, oh, he just, but you asked him. I do like the fact that he also learned to sometimes just next question it and keep it moving. So your thoughts on AJ, and then Scrub, you can.
Yeah, let me go real quick because I gotta go. But
no problem.
Yeah, so I think in this instance, I don't think it was AJ really putting anything out there. I think he was just kind of deflecting. I think he did a pretty good job of deflecting. They're trying to get him a gotcha moment or something. So I think in this case, I think he did a good job. And like you said, he's probably taking the bullets for everybody else. But I think one of the stories I'm trying to remember, I heard it on today, and then there was a couple other places, that Jalen Hurts, I don't know what you want to think, what you want to talk about it, cool, but that he's not well liked in the locker room. I'm not saying that they dislike him, but it's almost like a Russell Wilson. I know, ironic that you talked about Russell Wilson, but like where he had kind of his entourage, and he was kind of, kind of separated from everybody. They didn't dislike him. He didn't think he was a bad guy, but he wasn't one of the guys like everybody else. And I feel like Jalen, there's stories about him basically not being part of the guys. He does his own thing. And so there's stories, reports about that people don't really like him. Not in a bad way, but they just, he's just kind of away from everybody. He don't get in, with the boys, kind of thing. But I don't know what your thoughts are on that, or what you've heard.
So I did hear that thing. My Lotta came straight out like, nah, it's not true. Judge said nobody said anything to him. Mm-hmm. Some of the other players were asked, and their basic thing was, nah, he's there with us. But that's why I say I like that Hard Knocks is going to be there.
Right.
Because, I mean, it'll come out. Whether what I'm hearing is right, whether you're hearing is right, or whether neither one of us are right in what we're hearing.
Right.
It'll come out. And we'll be able to kind of see, like, okay, this is what was really going on.
Right.
So I do like that that's there. But I'm hearing that, I mean, no one's always going to be liked by everybody.
Right.
But I'm hearing that it's just one of those things where some of it's being done for sensationalism. And the Philadelphia sports media does not care if they throw their own players under the bus for sensationalism.
Yeah, I mean, they're rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Philadelphia media is rough.
They're worse than the fans.
That's saying something.
All right, fellas, I got to run, but man.
All right, Flo.
Man, y'all finish up strong.
Yes, sir.
We'll do.
All righty.
All right, so anything you want to add to that, sir?
Listen, the Jalen Hurts thing, if they like him, they don't like him. I really don't care. Right. Because we've seen teams that, all right, not everyone like each other. Y'all going to get the job done, you're not going to get the job done. As it pertains to A.J. Brown, listen, he He's here. We know some of his nonsense. We know some of it he does bring on himself. It is what it is. He's here. There's nothing you could, whether people want him on the team, don't want him on the team, he's here for the remainder of the year at least. So all I know is that they just got to figure it out. I don't like if it's not if he isn't hurting the team, like if his teammates they know like this ain't affecting them negatively, I don't really care about it. If it is, well, then you can move him at the end of the season. But I'm not worrying about all these twists. If we get something definitive, all right, then I'll really start. I could really put some weight in and give a proper opinion on it. But until then, it's odd, this man.
Fair enough. All right, so Sunday, November 23rd. Got a couple of games here, sir. So at 1 p.m., your New York Football Giants at 2-9 are going to travel to the Detroit Lions and play them at Ford Field. Who you got winning?
Regardless of which quarterback playing, I got the Lions winning. They're going to be at home. The conditions will be better for Jared Goff. I think everything will be more control for them. And Dan Campbell will be able to do what he wants to do because the Giants' defense is still a liability. Like, if it's a close game, they'll win late because the Giants can't hold up late. And if it's a blowout, then I ain't surprised either because the Giants just not a good team. I don't expect them to just roll over in, like, it's not. I don't think it's going to be like a 44-6 type of game, but I expect them to win by multiple possessions. I'd probably say something along the lines of like 32-20. Maybe more. Maybe more. It might be 37-20. Who knows?
So I'm going to pick the Giants losing with Scrub because one of the things that I've realized is Scrub is the guy that knows the Giants the best. If he doesn't even trust them, I shouldn't trust him. So I'm going to listen to that.
Don't trust Little Blue.
All right, then 4:25 p.m. Eastern. We have the other game in the division because the Commanders are on bye, so they can't lose this week. The 8-2 Eagles at Arlington, Texas, against the 4-5-1 Dallas Cowboys. Scrub, who do you have? I'll finish it off.
This is a game I've kind of been going back and forth on because Eagles haven't played well. I know the Cowboys is their first game since all their moves and whatnot. Second game. They played well on Monday night. That was a good win for them.
Yeah.
But I thought I always thought that was going to be a favorable matchup for them. The Eagles, they can win. It's going to be tougher. Let me put it, if the Cowboys are going to make a run in the playoffs, they're going to have to win this game. There's no two ways about it. But I don't. You know what? I actually will take the Cowboys. I kind of hope I'm wrong, but I see a path to victory because where y'all go? Y'all got to find a way to get these points. And if y'all don't get points against the Cowboys,
yeah. Here's what I'm thinking based on what I've seen in the past. One of the things that I do not like about Nick Sirianni is he likes to tell his coordinators, hey, hold off on plays and we're going to save stuff for like big games and then, the playoffs. Because he's had a successful coaching stint via wins and losses and, of course, winning the Super Bowl. So I think that there are some plays out there that we're going to be able to pull out of our proverbial yas that we haven't used before because we've only used about 10 to 12 plays all season. So there's obviously got to be more plays. There have been lots of players saying that they don't even use a lot of the plays that they practice in games. So maybe this is a game they'll throw a couple of those out there. Dallas is going to be a challenge for the Eagles defense because it is a prolific offense. And then the other thing is we have the win over them to open the season. This is a divisional game, and we've shown you that we can lose to anybody in our division. We lost to the Giants, and that's not like a knock on the Giants. It's just you line up and play the game. If we come out there,
even the second game, it wasn't no runaway until late.
Yeah, you have to come out and you have to play your game consistently and consecutively the entirety of your game, or you're going to be beat. And we have yet to see consistently the offense do that. So if you're telling me that you're picking the Cowboys based on you don't believe the Eagles can score enough points, I mean, that's fine. I think the Eagles find a way to get the job done in a game that's closer than it should be. But I think Philadelphia will rise to the occasion. Now, the problem is it should not be an occasion rising needed, I believe, in this game. It should be a go out there and play from the beginning, score. I mean, we might go out here and get a Eagles offense that is clicking and running well and guys are doing what they're supposed to do. We may see what we've been seeing. Heck, we may see something worse. I'm going to believe we're going to see something better than we normally see. We'll see how things actually do play out, but I'm going Eagles, of course. But probably in a game of 7 to 10 point win for the Philadelphia Eagles. So maybe like 30 to 21, something like that. We'll see how it actually plays out. I don't ever do good with actual scores, but I think it'll probably be about a 10-point difference, 7 or 10-point differential. This is a big matchup for both teams. Cowboys needed for playoffs. Eagles needed to stay at the number one seed because you're going to have to win games to stay at the number one seed. So it's a very important game to both teams. They're going to give their best. This is not a backups playing or this is not this. But this is a statement game for the Eagles and for Jalen Hurts as well because, the things always, Dak, he owns the Eagles. This is a chance to show Eagles to show that. So we'll see how things go. I definitely am excited. The Cowboys week is always an exciting, week for me. The two Cowboys weeks because divisional games and we really get a chance to kind of see where we're at. We played week one, now we get a chance for that rematch later in the season. So excited about it. But again, best division in football. All four teams have at least 2 Super Bowl championships. If you don't have that, you don't compare. You're not in the same stratosphere. Get like us. For my boy Scrub Zero, for Big Flo that had to roll out, this is your boy Cool McCain. Scrub, any last thoughts before we get up out of here, sir? Any shout outs?
Shout outs. Listen, shout out to all my guys on the NFC Beast, man. Not everyone can't always be here, but when we do, it's always a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
Make sure y'all subscribe to Eagles League Podcast, Shade Sports Network, My Sports, my channel, Scrub Zero. Couch Coach, of course. Make sure y'all definitely
Couch Coach Live.
Yeah, Couch Coach Live. Please do.
Yes, sir. Yeah, it's a fun time, man. And it's the season. So you're gonna hear me say this all the time. If you don't want to hear it, oh well. Somebody might need to hear it. Make sure you're checking on all your friends, especially those who've lost, family members, spouses, loved ones, a significant other, whoever, because you'd much rather pick up the phone, talk to somebody, video chat somebody, than have to go to that same person's homegoing service because no one was checking and making sure that we're good. Flo, one of the things Flo said last week was the people that laugh a lot might be having issues, but also it could just be normal people, right? Guys are just going along and you're thinking everything is fine. So make sure you're checking on your peoples. Make sure you're checking on all your friends and just make sure that, people are in the right mindset and things are going good, especially during the holiday season, because it's very depressing for those who do suffer from depression because there's reasons why they suffer from depression.
Make sure you check on yourself too, man. Days are getting shorter, so sunlight, that is a thing. Like days getting shorter, people emotions do kind of go into the darker side, lack of light. Make sure you take care of yourself, because I know there's a lot of things that go on, but there's always time to make time for yourself.
And talk to people. If you're having issues, talk to somebody. Don't hold the stuff in. Talk. Trust me. With that being said, it's never where you start, guys. It's always where you finish. NFC Beast, we out.